echo chamber and into a realm of educational discourse with my new hit show, Nonpartisan. Join me Sundays at 5 p.m. and elevate your understanding of the issues that shape our world.
I'm living my best life. I wake up with the sunrise. It does not look a thing like I thought that
I'll paint you pictures if you make the bed. I'll play it stupid if that's what makes sense. You walk the line, so I play pretend. Everybody knows how this story ends. Let me show you I'm worth it, worth it. Let me show you I'm worth it, worth it. Walking around, don't live here anymore. CD skip and scratch from hanging on my floor. I think it's funny, you're so hard to find. Everything about you made up in my mind. Let me show you I'm worth it, worth it. Let me show you I'm worth it. Listen to I don't feel the same when do you? Feel that
And now, an important voicemail from one of our listeners.
Literally, who cares that they turned Henley Basement into a gym? I swear to God, they remodeled it like 5 years ago. Nobody that goes to Chapman knows or cares about the fact that Henley Basement is now a gym.
Leave your own voicemail at chapmanradio.live. And thanks for listening.
And I told my friends who I really was. Yeah, they all just left me, but you stayed because I thought you were different. What the hell did I know? 'Cause you yelled at me as my tears hit the floor. You were a waste of my time. You were a waste
are all sold. It's too late to be unclear. I'd laugh until I die if it wasn't my life, if it wasn't me in the mirror. Am I ever gonna see you again? Or maybe I'm a whistle on a lonely old train, crying all the time. Listen to the sound getting further away, fading deep into the night. Am I ever gonna see you again? I'm evicted from your heart. I deserve it. Back against the shade, shadow lovers embrace. I look away, I look away. They say heartache always fades. I look away, I look away. I'm never gonna see you again. I'm evicted from your heart. I deserve it. Well, I can take a joke, but my clothes are all smoke. It's too cold to be unclear. I'd laugh until I'm old if it wasn't my life, if it wasn't me in the mirror. I'm never gonna see you again. I'm evicted from your heart. I deserve it. I'm evicted from your heart. I deserve it. I deserve it. I deserve it.
Let's do this.
All the hits on one station.
It's go time!
This is the all-new Chapman Radio.
Yo, bro, do you mind if I play some new underground stuff I've been listening to?
Yo, for sure, put it on.
Are you sure, bro? This is like some real underground shit. Like,
I mean, yeah, bro, just put it on.
I bet.
Tune into the Orange Underground Radio, Tuesdays at 9 p.m.
almost missed you there. Make sure to check out all of our scheduled shows. You're bound to find something you like. ChapmanRadio.live/schedule.
Always something that we want, and you can't give it up. Picking the pieces where we left. It's never enough to just be who we are. Ain't it easier to leave things here right where they stand? It's always wrong up close. Did you know that I run all this time to ourselves? Feels timely. Baby, now you hypnotize me. How do we let this die? Now I'm at this side of you. At the best of times, you make me feel real tonight. If it's a test, I tried, and now I can't let go. Because what's left and fight. Because what's left and go. I might be running these lights back to your been running outside, I'm running to cry. It's beating hard about a feeling this time. As we might just make it over to, baby, over to you. All that I want, all that and more love. Keep my baby beside me, 'cause of all the ways you tie me up. Don't know where your heart's gone. Was owning and traveling up for you. When you find it, right. All I wanted is you. Baby, put your weight on it. Baby, can we wait on you? Now you're messing with my mind. Ooh. Baby, put your weight on it. Baby, can we wait on you? Always tell me that you want. Didn't plan to feel the light go on. They don't bury deep enough. Chasing fire, getting tangled with another love. Know me better than to bluff. I thought it'd be easier watching you give it up. Till we give it up. Did we give it up? 'Cause we both know by now I might be running these lights back to your been running outside, I'm running to cry. It's beating hard about a feeling this time on. As we might just make it over to, baby, over to you. All that I want, all that and more love. Keep my baby beside me, 'cause of all the ways you tie me up. Don't know where your heart's gone. Was owning and traveling up for you. When you find it, right. All I wanted is you. Baby, put your weight on it. Baby, can we wait on you? Now you're messing with my mind. Ooh. Baby, put your weight on it. Baby, can we wait on you? All I want, and it's all that I want. All that I want is you. And it's all that I want. All that I want is you. I'm my business. I keep taking it all. I keep taking it all. My business. I keep taking it all.
The following event is brought to you by the School of Communication at Chapman University in Orange, California. The School of Communication. Think strategically, act courageously, connect meaningfully.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Chapman Radio / School of Communication / Chapman Preview Day, Discover Chapman Day, kind of all wrapped up into one. And what's cool about today is that the university's asked me, as well as some of the students that make up Chapman Radio to be part of this event and to broadcast it from the radio station. So we are in Chapman Radio, in the radio station, in the basement of Henley Hall, which is a dorm building on campus at the north end of campus. So this virtual preview day, I'm hoping, is going to be a whole lot cooler than just being on Zoom. We have a few guests that I am going to ask to participate today. And actually, Maddie, if you can, let's swing around on this side here. I have a few guests that I'm going to introduce here in a second. But as I was saying, I'm hoping that this virtual preview day is going to be a little bit more interesting than just hopping on a Zoom call. Like I said, we're broadcasting from the radio station. So not only can you hear us on Zoom right now, but you can also go to chapmanradio.live, which is where we're broadcasting. We are on both the Apple and Android app stores. We have our Chapman Radio app that we are broadcasting from. And I'm also, I guess we can call it a simulcast, and our co-hosts here don't know that at the moment, but we are also broadcasting on our Chapman Radio YouTube page as well. So we're broadcasting all over the place. We got Zoom, we got our website, we got our app, and we've got our YouTube channel. So hopefully it should be a little bit more interesting than just a regular Zoom call, like I said. All right. So the way that this is going to work is I am going to introduce the students that are sitting around the table here in a second, or at least let them introduce themselves. I'm going to go through just a quick little slide presentation, and then we are going to kind of open up the forum, going to open up the microphones, and I'm going to have the students that are sitting around with me kind of talk about their Chapman experience. And kind of most importantly, I'm hoping, just like a good radio show should be, is that you guys on the Zoom call, which there's a total of, oh, I got more in the waiting room. Let's see, there's going to be a total of there's 22, oh, somebody dropped off, 21 of you right now. So I'm hoping for this to be engaging. I can unmute you and you can unmute yourself. If you really wanted to do the whole experience, you could call into the radio station. We could put you live on air. The phone number is 714-516-6187. I'll give you that number if you want to do that later on. But start thinking about a question that you might want to ask myself or one of the other students around the table. So let me first briefly introduce myself before I let the students introduce themselves. My name is Travis Bartosh. I'm a faculty member in the School of Communication. I'm also the faculty advisor for Chapman Radio, as well as a program advisor. So I help out our majors with some advising questions as well. Let's go around the table. Let's go to my left. We have Maddie. Maddie, if you can tell us a little bit about yourself, what you're doing here at school, and maybe a fun fact about yourself.
Sure. Hello. My name is Maddie Manalo. I'm a junior screenwriting major here at Chapman. I am the administrative assistant for Chapman Radio, and I host 2 of my own radio shows here. I host a show called Girls on Film, where I kind of talk pop culture, film, TV, all of the sorts. And then I also host a music show where I talk about all my favorite hardcore and punk music in California and like all across. Fun fact, I got my nose ring ripped out at a show once. That's pretty fun.
That I don't know if that is a fun fact.
It's a good story
That's
though. That's true, but you know what? It was memorable. It's a great icebreaker, and I think it's pretty fun looking back on it because it's so far gone. But
no, it's not. It's never fun.
Guys, I'm okay.
fun.
I'm totally over it.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. Thank you, Maddie. And then next to Maddie, we've got Jackson. Jackson, again, a little introduction, what you're doing here at Chapman. Fun fact.
Yeah, I'm Jackson Geffen. I'm a senior strategic and corporate communication major with a minor in music business from Seattle, Washington. Hopefully there's some people out there in the call right now. Some facts about me. I'm the general manager here at Chapman Radio, so I kind of, my main job, I would say, is just like overseeing our great team of student staff members and making sure that everything runs smoothly. When I'm not doing that, I'm involved with another campus organization called The Collective, which is like a arts group here at Chapman that like highlights the multimedia aspects of art, specifically within music and visual arts. And then a fun fact about me. I went on my first tour with an artist last summer through my internship, which was partially gained because of my time here at Chapman Radio.
Yeah, awesome for that. Air horn. That's another cool thing. We get a lot of internship opportunities that kind of stem from as either a direct effect or kind of a side effect from being part of the radio station here. So if you're interested in music, if you're interested in entertainment, if you're interested in broadcasting, this is definitely an opportunity for you. So speaking of which Bella, if you can kind of include what you're doing as well into your speech, but our last guest in studio is Bella, who is going to introduce herself, tell us what she's doing here at Chapman and the internship that she currently has.
Hey guys, my name is Bella. I am a senior screenwriting major here at Chapman. Maddie and I are the same major. I love Chapman Radio. I've been doing it since my freshman year. I work on staff as the programming director. So essentially, my main task is building the schedule and assisting with incoming DJs and all that fun stuff. I do a lot on campus. I'm a tour guide, so high chance if you've been to campus before, I have been your goofy little tour guide. I was also an orientation leader, so very, very fun. And Maddie is about to interview to be an orientation leader, so super, super fun. But yeah, I currently intern at Sirius XM. I'm a music programming intern, and I just signed an offer letter for a part-time gig after I graduate. So yay! So yes, very, very doable to kind of build off of your time in the school comm at Chapman Radio, et cetera, et cetera. A fun fact about that is I actually met Jay-Z on my very first day interning at SiriusXM. Secondary fun fact, I just met John Mayer on Wednesday of this last week while I was there as well. So you can meet some pretty cool people.
Can you give us a little insight into John Mayer?
He's a freak. He is a freak. He has so many thoughts, and he really likes Clairo. He said he's been on a Clairo kick recently. Wait
a minute, what's Clairo?
Clairo's this indie, this female indie musician.
She's a cute, she's a singer for the girls, so that's very surprising.
No,
she's into her.
he programs his own station. He picks the music for it because he has Life with John Mayer at Sirius right now, and it's super fun, super goofy. But yeah, it's been a really great experience.
I think one thing that Bella brought up is her getting an internship and now working at SiriusXM. And even though she's a screenwriter, let it be known too that there are also, because a lot of these kids are School of Comm adjacent, there's a lot of School of Comm alumni from Chapman Radio who also work at SiriusXM as well.
Yes, Jessie Carroll works there, who she also,
I know Jessie.
She's a part-time music coordinator. She just got that job, so that's super awesome. Jeff Lewis, a host at Sirius, went to Chapman as well. So yeah, a huge Chapman little alumni community there.
We might as well, we've gotten to that point where we might as well kind of rattle off some other names. Steven Nelson, the new play-by-play broadcaster for the Dodgers, is Chapman Radio alumni.
Cameron Lewis, who's the co-host for the Zach Sang Show, is Chapman Radio alumni. Caroline Brown, who's helping out with the Woody Show, which is one of the largest syndicated radio shows in America.
She's an assistant producer, I'm pretty sure.
Leslie Jones, the comedian, Chapman Radio alumni. Didn't graduate from Chapman, but
she was here.
But she tried.
She was here. She was sitting in this room at one point doing her show. Few other people like Trent Rush. He's an Angels host for AM 830. The play-by-play radio announcer for the Milwaukee Brewers is Chapman Radio alumni. Speaking of which, guys, we need to reach out to Ken Bunt, who is the president of the Disney Music Group. I think we're about due for another Ken Bunt talk or getting him on air or something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely. We're going to be talking a lot about Chapman Radio today. Obviously, you guys on the Zoom call are may or may not be interested in Chapman Radio, but it is a part of the School of Communication. We're also part of the Dean of Students office, and we have a lot of Dodge students. So Dodge is the film school here on campus, if you're not aware of that are part of Chapman Radio. So that's why we have a couple Dodge students, Maddie and Bella, that are sitting in with us today. Before I go into my little slide presentation, before we kind of turn it back over to the students and ask them about their experience here at Chapman. Like I said, I was hoping that this can be engaging. I have the chat function open up on the Zoom call. I'm going to be looking to my right here if you see me on the Zoom screen to make sure that I'm keeping an eye on it, but hopefully you guys can kind of help me out if there's a message that pops up. But if anybody has anything that they would like to say right now, tell us, or anything that you would like us to cover, all you have to do is unmute yourself and let us know.
Don't be shy.
Don't be shy.
No question is a bad question.
That is true.
Let's see. Oh, somebody has their hand up. I thought that was. Oh, it went away. Can you unmute yourself and just let us know what you have to say?
No question is a bad question.
Let's see. Oh, somebody has their hand up. I thought that was. Oh, it went away. Can you unmute yourself and just let us know
I'm back.
what you have to say? So I have technical difficulties here. Oh, somebody has their hand up. I thought that was. Oh, it's going to take a minute. Oh, it went away. Can you? All right, we're going to let that. Let's see. What you have to say? So I have technical difficulties.
Because the audio
here.
source is the.
It's
is
the
us.
speaker. It's us. Oh, it went away. Can you? All right, we're going to let that. That's still not working. All right, Sarah, give us a second. Technical difficulties. Give us a second here. Speakers, sorry, everybody. Let's see. Speaker system is, that would have been our output, right?
Yeah.
All right, check.
We like talking, but
Yeah.
we're not good at STEM.
I'm getting better. That would have been our output. All right. Sorry. Sorry, sir. Give us a second while we figure that one
It
out.
might be input too. If our input is ourselves, I feel like the solution is just to mute ourselves, would it not?
Yeah.
Like when someone else is talking.
Yeah, that might be the way to do it. But there's a delay on it too.
Strange.
All right. We'll give that a shot. All right, Sarah.
Hi there. Are we good? You can hear me? Can you hear me? No? Let's see. Any luck? Sorry. Can't hear? Damn. You're muted now. Let's see.
All right.
Okay. Any luck? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh,
You
it's
hear
Luke.
us.
Sorry. Can't hear?
All right.
Damn. You're muted now.
I'm muted now. Oh boy.
Let's see. Any luck? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh,
You
it's
hear
Luke.
us.
Sorry. Can't hear?
All right, Jackson.
I'm gonna actually. You're muted now.
No, I'm muted now. Sarah,
Oh,
can you
boy.
can you write your question
question
in the
is-
chat while we
yeah,
get this figured out? I'm so sorry. Same as system. All right. We can hear you on Zoom. Thank you, Shannon.
Sorry, guys.
This isn't the first time I've screwed up inputs and outputs on Zoom. They make it trickier than you think it should be. All right. We can hear you on Zoom. No. You can still do it.
Okay. So
All
people
right.
are just gonna have to type their questions in.
Or call in.
Or call in. True.
Oh, yeah, or call in 714-516-6187. That might be a fun way
You want
to
to
do
type
it,
that in
too.
the chat real quick?
Yeah, I'll type that in the chat real quick.
Because we can showcase how our radio station works.
I promise it works.
Yeah.
We don't normally do stuff on Zoom a whole lot because we
But-
are...
I believe Sarah typed her question in the chat in the meantime.
Just waiting to have. Okay, so Sarah says, I was just wanting to have at some point discuss the difference between. Perfect. I will definitely be covering that, Sarah. Like I said, if people want to call into the station, because that's normally how we do stuff, I'm going to put that phone number in the chat 516-6187. All right, feel free to give us a call. Because I think that our I'm going to put that phone. Our computer channel is still difficult. I think I can figure that out maybe as you guys are talking.
Yeah.
But what I do want to get into, and is something that I'm going to get to with Sarah's question here, is that I'm going to talk a little bit about the School of Communication. So hopefully you should be able to see my screen. I'm sharing screen with you right now. Short little slide presentation on the School of Communication. So as Sarah correctly points out in the question that she asked is that we do have 3 different majors that make up the School of Communication. It's Strategic and Corporate Communication, Communication Studies, and Global Communication and World Languages. So in a second here, I don't want to take too much time with just me talking and slides going, but in a second here, I'm going to be talking about the difference between those 3 majors. I didn't realize that Jackson was going to be here. It kind of made a surprise appearance, so his name didn't make the slide here. But
calm guy.
yeah, but yeah, our 4 hosts here. I'm Travis Bartosh. This is Bella. Bella, you always need to teach me how to say your last name?
Grenzer. It's
Grenzer.
funky.
Yep. And then Maddie's here, and then we have Jackson as well. All right. So our 3 majors in the School of Communication, like I said, are Strategic and Corporate Comm, Global Comm, and World Languages and Communication Studies. So let's talk about the difference between the 3 of those. So first, our Strategic and Corporate Communication major, or commonly known as SCC. The way that I like to explain this, and the kind of example that I always use is when I tell the students how you explain the major is, all right, imagine that you are on Thanksgiving break. You're going home and you are talking to your parents, you're talking to your family, they're asking you, what are you doing at Chapman? And you say, oh, well, I'm an SCC, I'm a Strategic and Corporate Communication major. And they say, oh, that's great, that's awesome. You must be learning so much. And you say, oh, I absolutely am. And then eventually, your family member is going to say, but what is Strategic and Corporate Communication like? It sounds good, but what is it? Which is part of the genius of the major, is that it sounds impressive.
This is a real conversation that I've had numerous Thanksgivings in a row now.
Okay.
Too, so.
Okay. So I'm curious. So what is your answer?
I usually say the persuasion, message design, marketing, and campaigns. But one thing that isn't on there that I would add in is negotiations as well to that. I think that like with SCC, it's real big emphasis on like direct communication between yourself and a larger like mass audience, so to speak. But not only that, but there's a lot of classes tailored towards like the negotiation side of things, which is more one-on-one, personal, interpersonal, like conversation communication. So like a lot of the classes I've taken, like Message Design 1, Message Design 2, these are like courses you'll take during your time in the major where you learn how to run a marketing campaign for whether it be a service, a product, and then also like there's also campaigns for like causes and like, you know, social like beliefs and whatnot. So like the Rethink campaign's a good one that like talked about like Adderall abuse as well. During my time for like my class, I remember that like we talked about like getting Chapman Radio more known within the School of Communication. The list goes on. I know a recent one that happened for Message Design class was like advocating for the nearby like humane like animal shelter and whatnot, you know, getting people to adopt pets from there and whatnot. So I think overall, like SEC, the way I sum it up is, persuasion, message design, marketing, campaigns, but also negotiations as well.
I like the negotiation thing.
Yeah.
I've actually been thinking, because I have a background in sales. When I was an undergrad, I was slinging hot tubs. And I learned a lot from that experience. And I feel like there's a lot I can add on with my my grad level education that I got on top of that. But yeah, Jackson's absolutely right, is that in sum, the major is persuasion. In particular, how do we work with other people? So in a organized business, corporate setting, how do we work with others, be part of a team to put together a messaging campaign to either get people to do something, to know something, or to believe something? So Jackson's totally right that it is a campaigns-based approach. A lot of persuasion theory that's involved in the major. And how do we create the most effective message to get people to act? Because as people learn in the class, like, no offense to every other major, even those maybe sitting in this room, but we have, I make an argument that we have the most difficult major on campus, because what our job, hear me out. What our job is to persuade people and get other people to do what we want them to do.
That is true.
I think I make a strong argument, and I think you might jump on board.
The biochem majors are listening to this
The
right
biochem
now.
major's a little upset.
Yeah.
I think comp sci people might be.
Yeah, comp sci.
But getting people to do what you would like them to do through the persuasive process, not through unethical means or
Yes.
through like enforcement or throwing them in jail or threatening them with fines. Like persuading somebody to do something
can be tough.
is incredibly difficult. Like in the major, a success rate, if you put on a campaign and you get people to buy something or to change their behavior in some type of way, like a 5% success rate is good.
Yeah, that is true. I also think that, like, kind of piggybacking off of that, I don't think it's necessarily the hardest major, but I do think it's difficult if you have a really tough time communicating as is and like have difficulty with like public speaking, mass speaking as well. However, that's not to say that like, if you have trouble with that, don't take this major. You take classes in this to work on that.
Yeah.
Like one of my first classes I took was public speaking, and it was great. I mean, I already felt though I was like relatively okay at public speaking, but like taking classes like that really like made me take like a step away from myself and like recognize like how I communicate, like, and like what can be done, especially when talking to a group of people. Like, how do I like better and get like improve on that? Because there's a lot of things that like I noticed about like my speech patterns, and like sometimes I'd like talk way too fast, or I literally just wouldn't make sense. That like classes like within this major really helped work on that as well, I would say.
Yeah, and that's something I tell students too. This is kind of stepping away from the strategic and corporate comm major specifically, but something that really inspired me to become to be a communication-based major and eventually make it my career is that my mentor teacher that I first had said that communication's a skill and skills can be learned. And I think for the longest time, I thought that people that were persuasive or good at public speaking or good at interpersonal skills just had some type of genetic gift, like they were born with it, which I think that we can make an argument that some people are.
Yeah.
But
most people aren't. Though.
Yeah, it really kind of changed my perspective on it when this, like I said, mentor teacher said that communication's a skill and skills can be learned and acquired. So, which I'm still trying to work on. Right now, the skill I would like to master is getting the inputs and outputs correct on Zoom. Is a communication skill I will be working on. All right, so our second major in the School of Communication is our General Communication Studies major. And the way that I like to explain this major is if I invoke the metaphor of a pie. Go savory pie, a sweet pie, whatever kind of pie you want, pizza pie, but just imagine a pie. And a pie is made up of different slices. And the communication studies major is the whole pie, and the different classes are the individual slices. So one of your classes might be interpersonal communication. Another class might be intercultural communication. Another slice of that pie would be public speaking. Another slice would be organizational communication. Another slice would be group communication. So communication's a kind of a more broad major look at the entirety of human communication, made up of subdisciplines or subtopics or individual slices that you would take. To compare that against the strategic and corporate communication major, you can think of SEC as just one slice of pie that has to do with persuasion theory. And so it's a little bit more focused, a little bit more specific, whereas the communication studies major, more broad, more all-encompassing of human communication. So for instance, you will not be taking interpersonal communication in the strategic and corporate communication major. Yeah. There's a few other classes that you wouldn't be taking because it just doesn't connect with strategic communication specifically.
I will say, like, just a quick like add on to that, if we're still using the pie.
Pie me.
Pie, yeah. Just like pie, I always want more than one slice.
Ooh.
Right? So it should be known that, don't laugh, it should be known that even though I'm an SEC major, I have taken a lot of comm studies classes, and I know a lot of comm studies majors who have taken SEC classes as well. Mm-hmm. There's often times where, some of the classes are applicable in terms of credit-wise to each major, sometimes they're not. But I do think like they both really bounce off of each other very well in terms of like the subject matter that's being taught, because I think it's like very applicable to like either end of it, so to speak.
Yeah, agreed. All right, so on to our last major in the School of Communication. This is our newest major in the School of Communication, Global Communication and World Languages. So this is a major if you see yourself working in a global context and have an idea of what specific kind of global context you might be in. So the way that this major works is that it's you can think of it as a hybrid, a perfect combination between learning a language, whether it's, and I think that we have all of the languages that we offer here at Chapman: Chinese, German, French, Italian, Japanese, or Spanish. So you're learning one of those majors and you're also taking communication classes at the same time. So you may not be taking a full load of communication classes because half of those classes are going to be made up with learning a foreign language. So like I said, people that have an understanding of I'm going to be working in a different country, or my goal is to be working in a different country, or I'm working with a community of people here in the US that maybe English isn't their first language, and I have to work and navigate around that other language. But you're also going to be working in a business, an organized type of context, and communication skills are just needed in that context. A few other things about kind of student life in the School of Communication before I pass it off to the students here to kind of talk about the Chapman experience more broadly, is that we have a lot of activities both in and out of the classroom. We have a group on campus that I think is listed on the right. Yes, Lambda Pi Eta, that's our National Honors Association, that put on a series of guest speakers. Let's see, we just had the School of Com Experience Day on Memorial Lawn, which we were supposed to be there. Sorry, Dr. Weber, that that was my fault, by the way, that we weren't there. But a lot of different events that happen in and outside of the classroom. Careers and internships, and we kind of mentioned that a little bit earlier when you guys introduced yourselves, but maybe we can kind of expand on that here in a little bit. All School of Com students are required to get an internship. Are you guys required to do internships in Dodge?
Surprisingly, no.
Not for screenwriting. There's some majors that do, but
really?
Yeah, like creative producing.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Isn't that crazy?
I know. Interesting.
Wow.
School of Com is the one they tell us to tell people on the tour, like you gotta have. Yeah.
Which we've had a lot of success with. I've seen, not saying that this happens to everybody, but it's really cool when I'm advising a student's internship and they come to me at the end of the semester and say, hey, they offered me a full-time position. I'm like, wow, that's awesome when that works out that way. We obviously have Chapman Radio, which we're going to be talking more about. I'll kind of let the students talk more about their Chapman Radio experience here. But like I said, Chapman Radio is part of the School of Communication. That's why we have me as the faculty advisor for the radio station. And then we also have a really successful first generation program that's really picking up a lot of steam and getting a lot of notoriety around campus for being a really good resource and just a community for students that are coming as first gen students to college. So that's where maybe there are folks, mom and dad, didn't attend college, and this is the first person in the family that's attended college. And there's obviously been a lot of research about the difficulties of kind of navigating what college is like when you don't have anybody in your family or know immediately that has been through the experience that could kind of warm you up to it. So there's a really good resource through the School of Communication there. All right, so I'm going to end the presentation there. And let's see, I don't see anybody in the chat. I'm going to kind of open it up to the students here, but feel free to write in the chat. I'm going to try to figure out why our input and output audio system here isn't working as right as it should. And as I do that, I was hoping that maybe, Jackson, you can kind of get us started on the internship thing.
Yeah. Yes, for context, just like Bella and Maddie, I've been with Chapman Radio pretty much since my freshman year. Even though we were during our freshman year, we were remote over Zoom.
But we got to, I lived on campus, so I was able to come to the station my freshman year a few times, but it was pretty rare.
I did not, so I was recording my show in my bedroom at the time.
I did the same thing though at first semester in my dorm. I would have to soundproof my closet.
It was crazy. It was an interesting time. But I digress. Like we've been here, all of us have been here for an extensive amount of time. Our entire college careers at Chapman so far. All of us, for the record, have gotten internships within music as a result, partially as a result, I mean, not just like of us like in our skills, but also because of our time at Chapman Radio.
Oh, mainly.
Yeah.
Mainly.
I'll start with mine. So I recently, last summer, I had an opportunity to internship at this talent management company called Night Media. They're based out of Los Angeles. Their main bread and butter is management of YouTubers and Twitch streamers. I'm sure like you guys they've managed clients like Mr. Beast, Kai Cenat, like Nessa Barrett,
Dream, right?
Dream.
Awesome.
So funny.
Like the list goes on. They do have they have almost the I want to say it's 60% of the biggest like YouTubers in the entire world are on their roster. However, they also opened up a music division recently. And they coincidentally enough, the other organization that I am the co-president of, the collective's founder, Phil Mentz, another Chapman alumni, he works at the company full time and reached out to me with an offer of, hey, just so you know, they're looking for interns. I recommended you. You may or may not receive a call in the next few days. This is last June. Fast forward to like literally a day later, I got a cold call asking if I was interested in interning. Very rare, I will say. I don't think that I'm not going to,
That does not happen.
that does not happen, to be honest. So I'm very fortunate and lucky that that was the case. But it kind of just demonstrates like the work that we do here at Chapman Radio and in our extracurriculars has very substantial and significant impact on our prospects in terms of like advancing our careers in the future. With my internship, I did a lot of marketing and like campaign planning for the releases of their artists, specifically Oliver Tree and Glaive. And I shifted from that to actually going on tour with Glaive as an assistant tour manager. And I'll be honest, a lot of the skills that I like had to like put into use came from a lot of the classes that I took in the School of Communication, because I was connecting with venues across the country, hotels across the country, working with the on-site crew at these venues as soon as we arrived for about 2 weeks straight. And it was very intense, but I'm very happy it happened. And again, I cannot stress this enough. One of the first things they looked at my resume and like realized that like this would be good to have was Chapman Radio and the time that I've spent here.
And then Maddie, if you want to talk about yours.
Yeah, so like I mentioned before, I'm a screenwriting major, so I'm not in the School of Comm at all. I've been doing film stuff for the past 3 years. But I think it was my sophomore year, I started my music show called Pierce Radio, where I like play hardcore punk and like emo sad girl music. And that's the stuff I've been into ever since I was like in middle school. And I was like, having been involved with radio for so long and having been doing my film stuff for so long, I was like, I feel like I need to tap into music just to see what I can do. And randomly enough, I was just scrolling a Handshake, which is like a job
like a job listing
yeah,
site.
a job
for
listing
Chapman
site.
students.
Yeah. And randomly I stumbled upon one for a record label called Fearless Records. They host like the like Movements, Pierce the Veil, Chase Atlantic, kind of these bigger emo like alternative artists, I guess. And I have been in love with these bands since I was literally 13 years old. Took the chance, doctored up the most fangirl cover letter you could ever think of, somehow landed an interview and got the internship. So I was a digital marketing intern for Fearless Records over the fall of last semester, and it was probably my favorite internship I have had since being at Chapman. I covered all of their band socials, tracked analytics for all of them. I attended events like a music video premiere for the band Ice Nine Kills and did like social media stuff for that. I was sitting in on marketing meetings to kind of give my input as a Gen Z young woman and helping them kind of figure out what's the best means of marketing for bands like Chase Atlantic, whose demographic is primarily girls like me. But it was one of the best things I could have ever done in terms of my time here at Chapman, and I could not have gotten it without my time here at Chapman Radio. Absolutely.
So speaking of Chapman Radio, and I see that we have a question about about Chapman Radio in the chat. And Allison, I see your question too about study abroad stuff. But since we're talking about Chapman Radio, let's answer that one first, and then we'll get to Allison's question. But from Jet Brown, which is a pretty cool name, Jet.
That's a cool name.
It's a radio host name.
Yeah, that's a radio
for
host
sure.
name. You don't need a DJ name. You already have one. But Jet asked, how do you get involved with Chapman Radio? Is it a big time commitment?
It's 1 hour of your week. If you are a radio host and you just host your show, it's a very simple process. You essentially would have to join either COM 108 class if you are an underclassman, or COM 308 if you are an upperclassman. And essentially you would get credit for the first semester where we train you. We have 4 boot camps that you go through. We test you on all the equipment in the studio, make sure that you are all good to go. And essentially, the way you get your grade is you do a show once a week. You have a 50-minute time slot, and you can either do a talk show, music show. We've had a lot of really crazy shows on air before. I personally do a music show. I've done a talk show before. We've all done multiple different shows, and it's a lot of fun. But yeah, so if you're simply just hosting a show, it's just about 1 hour-ish of your week. If you do transition to being on staff, that is a bigger time commitment. However, you do get paid since we are a student-funded organization. So another great example of an on-campus job. And if you get work study, even better.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a pretty low time commitment, I'd say, if you are simply just looking to host a show, it's very fun, very fulfilling. I highly recommend it. I mean, why would I not?
I think going off of what Bella said, a lot of people will take a look in here and like see the equipment that we're working with, and I think get a little anxious and scared because it all seems so like technical and whatnot. But we all started with like literally zero. I mean, maybe zero experience whatsoever in radio. None of us did this in high school. So we came in with zero knowledge, and it took obviously a bit of time and like practicing and like time spent on the board doing your show. And that that can range anywhere, truth be told, in terms of like how much you put in, how much you want to get out of it at the end of the day. So Bella's right in that when you're a DJ at the radio station, you are only spending about an hour or so a week doing your show, and then maybe like 30 minutes to an hour or two preparing for your show at any given point of the week. And then as a member of Chapman Radio, we have monthly all hands meetings on the first Wednesday night of each month at 10 p.m. Those meetings run about an hour. It's a great opportunity to meet other DJs at the station, and also get important announcements and information about what we have coming up. But altogether, in terms of like time commitment, there's no final exam, there's no midterms for this. Your homework is to just do your show once a week. And as a result of that, I would argue that we're definitely one of the easier courses within the School of Communication, but also at the same time, I think we're one of the few classes in the School of Communication that probably has a higher output of what you learn in this, so to speak, because I believe that a lot of the stuff you learn in here directly translates to jobs within the broadcast industry and music industry as a result of that. That's not to rag on any other School of Comm classes, because they're great. I just think we're very unique in that what we get out of this is very, very different to your average School of Communication class, and also just classes in general here at Chapman University, I would say. Then again, that all starts with you registering for COM 108 and COM 308. You do that first semester, and then you're welcome to stay a part of the station as what we call a club member. So you don't have to take the class, you just do your show once a week. That's it.
And I think that, and I was talking to Jackson yesterday, and I don't know, Bella and Maddie, no, it was Gracie that was around, Gracie and Morgan that met him. But at IBS, I met the Cal State Long Beach faculty advisor. So the four of us, what was it, just a month ago now?
Yeah.
Got back from New York City. So one of the cool things about being part of Chapman Radio is there's a chance to go to New York City every year, which the three students and myself have been twice now, because they've been nominated for National College Radio Awards, which I think now is the time to do the shout out that all three of you, I just realized that all three of you are National College Radio Award winners. So Bella won 2 years ago for
Yes.
Best Talk Program.
Yes.
Jackson just won this past year, a month ago, for Best Comedy Program.
Yep.
And
Believe
Maddie
it or
won
not.
for Best Show Poster.
Yeah, promotional poster.
Promotional poster last year.
Mhm.
So 3 winners in 3 years.
Yeah.
And within that time, I think every single year out of those 3, Chapman Radio's been nominated.
Yes.
Unfortunately, we haven't won yet.
Yet.
But we've been nominated for best streaming radio station for a smaller university
Yeah.
in the U.S. So we're doing pretty good things, pretty cool things.
We're also listed by the Princeton Review as within the top 20 colleges in the United States with like the best radio stations. Well, I believe we're number 14 now, I want to say.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool.
Around there.
Yeah.
But number 1 in our hearts is
Number
what
one in our
I always like to say. But I brought up the Cal State Long Beach faculty advisor because I was giving him a tour of the station. And something that I like to think, and kind of building off of what Jackson was saying, is that calling our radio station Chapman Radio is kind of a bit of a misnomer. We don't have a terrestrial signal. We just broadcast online, which is beneficial, I think. One, because we aren't beholden to FCC regulation.
Yeah.
I think that, and a lot of people would get mad at me, but I think that the terrestrial signal is maybe not as popular as it was back in the day.
I think that it's way more limiting in scope in what you
Because
can do.
people can listen all
Yeah.
over the world.
Yeah.
Yeah,
with the
yeah. So
stream.
I was in Doha in February, and I was able to tune in to Chapman Radio.
Yeah.
So it was pretty cool. So we broadcast online, and we have 3 streams that are broadcasting simultaneously. Again, something you can't do with a terrestrial signal, and that's another cool thing, is that we're kind of building a platform here. And then, like Jackson was saying, you can kind of take this wherever you want. If you are into broadcasting and want to do radio, we have an industry standard broadcast console and equipment that you can learn on. If you are interested in getting involved in the music industry, we have connections to record labels and music promoters, and you can kind of get your foot in the door that way. If you're interested in working with audio and editing audio, we teach you Adobe Audition and how to tweak that.
Yeah, I hope that answers Jet's question. Before we answer the study abroad question, I think this is a natural segue into Bella's internship, now part-time position with SiriusXM,
Yeah.
because we were just talking about the industry standard equipment. Bella, if you want to kind of give some insights to how Chapman Radio has helped you in that regard.
Yeah, I mean, I had no experience working on an audio board prior to coming to college. And when I started applying to internships and eventually landed SiriusXM, they bring me into the studio for the first time and are like, oh, you're going to shadow today. And I look at the board and I'm like, oh my gosh, I know exactly what all the buttons mean. I know exactly how to do everything. This is crazy. So I told my advisor that. And as soon as my second week, I was running the audio for a lot of different artist interviews, talk shows, all of the above. And the part-time position I'm about to start is audio board operation. So it's quite literally was such an easy process. And quite literally, one of the only reasons, not only, but one of the main reasons I caught that internship and now this job was because I knew the equipment.
Not only can you press buttons, but you know which buttons.
I know which
do
ones
what.
to press. It's crazy.
All right, so Jory's got a question here. I'm not going to get to it because I think it's going to make some people happy that they asked it here. But we need to get back to the study abroad question from Allison. And Allison says, what is the best year to study abroad, and for how long is a typical semester?
I think the statistic is junior year, second semester is the most common time to study abroad. I think
sophomore year is the second one behind that. I wanna say.
Yeah.
No one does it their freshman year
No.
or senior year, typically speaking. That just
Yeah.
doesn't really happen. I think have any of us done?
no, I know a lot about it though
Yeah.
because of tour guide
So,
stuff.
so Bella
there's
here is
Bella.
a tour guide. So
Yes.
this is our general information person here. So Bella, maybe you can shed some light on study abroad.
So the cool thing about studying abroad at Chapman is that you can study abroad at all times during the school year. It's just depending on how long you want to be gone for. So you can study abroad during the fall semester or the spring semester and be gone for the entire course. So about like three-ish months, 4-ish months. But then we also have, technically, we have a couple weeks in December for winter break. And then we also have the entire month of January off, technically, for a special little term called interterm. It's a 4-week period that is a sped up process where you can either take classes, which is included in tuition. It's not an extra cost. You can either take classes at Chapman, or you can do an abroad or a travel course during interterm. So you can be gone for just a little month-long period. You can be gone for a week. You can be gone for 2 weeks. It's just dependent on how long, where you want to go, what courses you want to take. Or you can also study abroad during the summertime for however long you want to be gone for. So for example, my roommate was abroad in Italy over the summer for 1 week. And then our friend Jackson's roommate was abroad for the entire summer for 2 months in Korea.
Yeah.
So it's really just dependent on where you want to go. If you want to do an abroad program through your program, through your college, or if you just want to choose a country and then go there. So it's very flexible, which is really nice.
Going off of that, one thing that just reminded me of is that there's a really cool, what's called a travel course, which is what Bella was just talking about, that occurs during interterm, that is a collaboration between the School of Communication and Dodge College, actually, where they will take comm studies and global language people within the School of Communication and pair them up with documentary and broadcasting folks in Dodge College. And it's led by 2 professors, one Michael Ross within the School of Communication, who's one of my favorite professors.
Great guy.
He's great.
Yeah.
And Sally Rubin.
Shout out
actually.
Sally Rubin.
Also a great professor.
Do we want to
at
make it an
Dodge.
official shout out?
Official
Yeah.
shout
All
out
right.
Sally Rubin.
It's official.
She's awesome.
I've
I really
heard
like her.
both professors are great in their own rights, and a lot of our friends have taken classes with them or have taken classes themselves with the professors. But what it is, just to give an example for those listening in, is these students will all travel to Thailand for about 2 to 3 weeks, and they will film documentaries on various aspects of the culture and living there and whatnot. And, it gives Dodge students an opportunity to put their filmmaking skills and what they've learned in their classes to good use. And
Yeah,
also the
partner
School
up.
of Comm students actually get a bit of experience in the communicating with the locals there, and also a bit of like filmmaking experience as well.
Tanner Pierce, a current Chapman Radio student who is also in Dodge, is going on the Thailand trip as well. So
Super cool.
Yeah.
All right, so on to the next question. I want to get to Jory's question.
Yeah.
But I saw that Manning, you asked, I'm interested in doing a minor in political science as a global communications major. Is this possible since they are in different schools? Yes,
Yes.
absolutely.
And it's
I would
very
say
easy.
most students are, their major and their minor are in different
Yeah.
different schools.
that's very common. Sometimes there's restrictions,
Mhm,
like in Dodge in particular, but there's like other areas like that where like if you're a comp sci major, you can't minor in video game development, whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's very common, very
Yeah.
easy. You literally just fill out a piece of paper and you have to do it before the end of your sophomore
Yeah.
year.
Yeah, before you earn 60 credits is when you have to declare a minor, a second major, or a themed inquiry.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'll give an example. I'm School of Communication is my major with strategic and corporate communication, but my minor is within music business, which is a part of the College of Performing Arts, 2 different colleges. I've never had any issues with registration
Yeah.
and whatnot. And actually, there's quite a significant number of School of Communication students who are in the College of Performing Arts as well.
Yes.
Same can be said about Dodge too, actually.
Yes, that's pretty common.
Yeah.
Yeah. So speaking of which, so Jackson, here's Jory's question.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
addressing it to me.
No, I'm
Okay.
addressing it to you. So Jory says, "Hi, I'm also from Seattle.
Hey, shout out.
Shout out. And planning on majoring in SEC and minoring in music
Oh
business."
my goodness.
How is Jackson's experience with the major minor pairing? I guess we kind of already talked
Yeah.
about it a little
Jory
bit, but
dropped where you went to high school.
Yeah,
in the chat.
Jory, actually, please. I'd be curious to know.
All right.
Jory, for context.
Jory, if you can tell us where you went to high school so that we can
Well,
really
yeah.
Yeah.
make Jackson's day.
That's funny.
Potentially.
Bella's boyfriend, my roommate, is also from Seattle in the Ballard area.
This will be interesting
Yeah.
to see where you
So,
went to high school.
where'd they say Issaquah High School?
Issaquah.
Oh my goodness.
Oh wow.
We
Okay.
have our
official shout out Issaquah.
Yeah, our future roommate went to Issaquah High School.
Max
Max
Cartman.
Cartman. Yeah.
He's also from the Seattle.
He's
Man,
from all over the place.
we are being infested with
Yeah.
people from Seattle.
That's crazy. I had friends who went to Issaquah High School. I went to Oneida High School, so up down in Kirkland. Anyways, sorry, we went off tangent there. But my experience with as a School of Communication and College of Performing Arts, SEC Music Business, for me, it's been interesting. So I think that for context, when I was in Seattle before, like during high school and whatnot, I worked in a lot of music venues as like an audio tech. So I worked at the Showbox Soto, did some work at the Crocodile. These are all local Seattle venues. And then I transitioned into working with AEG Presents. So they used to do this music festival in Seattle called Bumbershoot.
Bumbershoot.
Most notably, they also do Coachella, Stagecoach, et cetera, et cetera.
I've heard of those.
Yeah. Also did a lot of work at Capitol Hill Block Party as like an assistant stage manager there. Anyways, that I bring that in because that's part of the reason why I went for the music business minor here at Chapman. Now, in terms of my current time
Yeah,
in
how
the
do you
music
like it?
business
How do you
minor,
like it, bud?
I'll be candid with everyone listening in. I do personally believe that the music business minor here at Chapman University is not quite fully fleshed out.
Ooh.
Insight. Yeah, I do feel like there's a lot that can be improved on. However, I give it credit because this is a brand new minor. It is only it's only been around for 2 years now, so I'm one of the guinea pig students, as you will, for it. And they're actually in the process of turning it into a music industry studies major. That is confirmed happening. It'll probably happen, Tori, by the time you're a sophomore here at Chapman University, because they have been trying to work on that for a while. There's a lot of SEC students who are also music business minors. Gracie.
I feel like that's a really common combo to be SEC and music business.
But for those of you who are wondering, I've met a lot of great students in there. I've made a lot of friends in that minor. We know quite a few people who are in that minor as well, who are on staff at Chapman Radio.
I will say, I do personally wish I had minored in music business, even though it's not very fleshed out, because obviously that's where my career is going, and Maddie as well, despite being a screenwriting major. So I will say, if you don't have any prior connections or prior experience, it is so essential to have that you're a music business minor studying that on your resume, because that is the first thing that companies will look at, and it means a lot.
However, and no, but I'm going to say this. Maddie and Bella are both working in the music industry right now and have not minored in it.
But we work on staff at Chapman Radio.
But you work on staff.
So
at
that's
Chapman
like
Radio. That's the counterbalance.
So together, you'd be unstoppable.
Yeah, you think that. You look at me, I'm not so sure. I feel very stoppable at times. No, but in all seriousness, I mean, I think it's great if you are dead set on this is what I want to do. This is where I'm, and that was me when I came to Chapman. I've been knowing that like I want to continue working in the music industry. I will do that for my entire life. However, I don't think it's necessary. I think if you put in the time and effort to really like check out extracurriculars like Chapman Radio, or just, try an intern at any record label or management company, or get involved, do your own thing, like throw shows on the side, at least make friends with people who are in the same like field as you, I think you can get equally as far at the end of the day. Like, I don't think it's a necessary thing. However, I'm not going to rag on it too hard, because there have been classes within it that I felt like I've learned something new from. For context, there was a class offered between Dodge and the College of Performing Arts called Inside the Music Industry that I took last year, which the professor was Jim Gurenot, which for those of you who don't know, he was the manager for Gwen Stefani. He basically brought No Doubt into the spotlight. He threw shows. He's from the area. He went to Fullerton College. He threw shows when he was at Fullerton. He's very familiar with the OC music scene. He brought in some of the craziest guest speakers you can imagine. I'm serious. He brought in Tony Kanal from No Doubt, the bass player. Awesome. He brought in the founder of Coachella. He brought in all these crazy like figures within the music industry. That was the best class I've ever taken at Chapman University by far. And that was I only got to do that because of the music business minor. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. I think if you
I disagree, but
and
that's
that can be that's just my opinion.
Hot take.
Yeah.
But I truly believe that if you're able and willing to put in the time and effort, and you're not in music business minor, you can achieve equal success. And I think like my two like friends, staff members next to me are prime examples of that too.
Yeah, but they're kind of putting themselves in that direction.
Yeah.
Like what you're saying is that you don't necessarily need to major or minor in
music,
but you should do
in
something.
The career
you should do something.
Like I'm thinking about my brother-in-law that he became a lawyer, but his major was English
right
in high school. But it's
well,
it's like he wherever you're pointing your energy towards,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter
I
necessarily
do
if you're
think-
a minor.
I do think it benefits to just get yourself involved in some way within the music
Right.
sphere if that's what you want to work towards, whether it's minoring a music business, being a part of Chapman Radio, doing another music-based minor, joining the collective, throwing shows in the area. Like, it all matters.
But that's what I'm not saying it doesn't all matter, but I'm just saying that you don't have to take the music business path in an education sense, because there are other avenues you can take, like Chapman Radio, like the collective, like trying to get internships that will help you get to that point as well with equal amount of success, in my opinion.
Are there any other questions?
Yeah, guys, can we kind of go through some of these questions
course, please.
Go for
quickly?
it.
So Keaton asked, is Chapman Chats still going and part of
Oh.
Chapman Radio? I don't think it is this semester.
So I actually edit Chapman Chats, and yeah, we haven't been posting recently just because the counselor who runs that has been a little. She hasn't really been on top of it, but however, I got that opportunity because I was a tour guide, and the guy who used to edit it and be the audio engineer for Chapman Chats graduated, and they're like, we need someone, and I was like, that's so crazy because I'm here.
Perfect.
So yeah, we were recording in the studio over the summer a lot. I edited a couple episodes for them, so it's not directly associated with Chapman Radio, but if you're interested in Chapman Chats or working for them, I think Office of Admission and being an office assistant or being a tour guide is your best route in there.
I'd like to help with that. If
Yeah, I'll
that's
put
an option.
yeah,
I mean, I like the idea of partnering and
yeah.
doing stuff.
I'll put you in contact with the counselor in charge.
Allison, sorry to hold off on your question, but we finally gotten to it. Do comm majors typically get assigned specific dorms? Yeah, what's the dorm situation?
No, so
for...
typically you will live with the two other people who are in the School of Comm. They may not necessarily be your exact major, but they will be in the School of Comm, and mainly everyone on your floor in whatever building you get placed in will be School of Comm. They like to say it's learning living communities, but it is a good thing. So you'll be around people that are in the School of Comm. Your whole building may be kind of like a mix of everything, and every year it changes where they place the majors. So there's really no way of telling, but yeah,
and there
it's just-
is a new dorm being built.
Yes,
too,
Chapman,
so-
Chapman Court. It's opening in the fall. That's for upperclassmen, but it's
Yeah.
really
Very
nice.
nice.
But I would imagine that even if it is for upperclassmen, that'll kind of throw a little bit of a wrench. Like there'll be a trickle down
mix.
effect of affecting,
Yeah.
other younger students.
It's
in
going to
some
be
way.
interesting to see how it goes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but this class will be set because they'll be able to live in those buildings and everything.
So for those that don't know, we're kind of in a cluster of dorm buildings.
Yeah.
I'm not going to rattle off each one of them, but there's several dorm buildings that are around Henley Hall, which is where we currently are. There's Chapman Grand that's kind of right next to Angel Stadium.
Yes.
Yeah.
So students get shuttled in.
Which is also where the new Chapman Courts is, I believe,
Yes,
right?
it's right by Angel
Yeah.
Stadium.
Yeah, and then we've got this other one,
Panther Village.
Panther
and,
Village,
and the
kind of-
K. Yeah.
and the K
Yes.
as well. Okay, jeez, I was like,
Yeah.
once we start to rattle them off, there's a lot. And let's see, and then Sarah has the last question here because I know that we need to wrap things up here. But yeah, Sarah, sorry that we've been talking so much about music and radio and
apologies.
other kind of stuff, but Sarah's question is, other than music biz, what are some of the other industries that comm majors tend to end up in professionally?
Yeah.
And I think it's a lot of marketing
Definitely.
related jobs would be the first one that comes to my mind.
Sales.
Sales.
Sales for sure.
And
HR.
let's be honest.
Yeah.
Life is sales.
Life is sales.
Life is sales. Everybody's selling something in some form or fashion.
Yeah. I mean, I can think like there's sales, marketing, a lot of HR people as well.
A lot of
The business side of the film industry too.
Yeah,
Like,
definitely.
That's
Yeah.
huge.
A lot of entrepreneurs.
Yeah. Bella makes a good point. A lot of School of Comm people that I know are trying to go into film specifically on the business end of it
Yeah,
as
like
well.
agencies, management, like HR for big companies. I mean, like Paramount needs marketing people.
Yeah.
They need
Yeah.
communication people.
And Sarah, you ask a really good question, but it's a difficult one to answer. And one of the things that I was told when I was an undergrad studying human communication is that if you ask any employer, or if you go to any list of skills that employers are looking for, communication skills are always number one.
Yes.
So you're learning something and you're focused in on something as a comm major, an SEC major, global comm major, that is the glue of our entire social world. Like without human communication, we don't have society. Like we're grunting at each other. So it's this necessary skill that it permeates everything. So when I get the question that you asked, Sarah, it's like, well, what other professions? It's literally everything.
Yeah.
But then it ends up being this paradox of choice, is that if communication skills are essential to everything, and being a good communicator is something that people really want, that means that like you can literally choose from everything. So that's kind of where I encourage students to think about what's that minor, what's that second major that you're going to take to kind of help focus you.
Yeah.
So like Jackson, music business, he's interested in music. So he's kind of pairing those communication skills with a more industry-specific minor. We had another student that really wanted to work on shows like Dancing with the Stars, or So You Think You Can Dance. So she majored in communication studies and I think double majored in dance.
There's a lot of dance majors who double major in the School of Communication.
So I encourage School of Comm students, like, think about what that other thing is, because our major is, which I think is great, is so broad because communication skills are so important. But how do you choose that second major or that minor to help focus you? Is my advice.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we have, oh, wait a minute. Do we have another one? Sorry, Radio Club.
We can rapid fire it.
Yeah. But we've come up against our hour. Jackson actually has to get up to USC's radio station right now.
Yeah.
So he's going on a fun field trip. I'll stick around if there's any other questions. Sorry we weren't able to get the audio quite right. There's a whole like mix minus thing that's going on because we could hear ourselves in the headphones when we shouldn't be able to hear ourselves. But I was hoping for it to be more engaging. You can still call. I put the phone number in the chat, but I'll hang around if there's anybody that would like to either chat on the phone or chat on in the text chat on Zoom.
I can hang around a little longer as well.
I have a few minutes. We're good.
Oh, okay.
But I was gonna say, if people want to reach out to any of us at all, like, because I wish I had someone to reach out to about all this stuff if I was like when I was first coming into Chapman. All of our, if you go to chapmanradio.live on the website, all of our emails and full names are listed out. Feel free to shoot us an email. I would say LinkedIn, but honestly, like, I'm fine if people just reach out over Instagram. It's just I think all of our Instagrams are just our legal names. So mine's just at Jackson Geffen, Bella's is at Bellica Renser, and Maddie's is at Maddie Manolo.
I'm also on Unibuddy, which is a platform on the Chapman website. I have to be on there, tour guide. So I'm on there as well if you want to reach out via Unibuddy.
And you can probably, if you go to Chapman Radio's Instagram
you can find us.
you can find us. Find us there too. But other than that, we're just going to be hanging out. Like I said, type in the chat if you have anything. Give us a call at 714-516-6187.
We do not have voicemail set up though, so just.
You got to call right now.
You got to call right now. If you call later, no one's going to be able to take it.
Yeah, you'll hear ringing for 10 minutes straight. But other than that, that's the kind of the end of the formal presentation, the formal meeting. Thanks for everybody attending, and we'll hang out here for a little bit until you guys take off. But thanks a lot for your time, and hopefully we see you on campus soon.
Any new questions or are people backing out? I think everyone's leaving. Slowly trickling out.
Oof.
Oh no. Radio DJ just crashed.
It's been crashing.
It's been crashing.
Slowly.
Oh, hey, girl.
We got two people in here, so they either forgot to leave or they're typing in chat. Scroll down, Travis.
Let's see. Should tell me. No, I'm at the bottom of the chat.
Okay.
Oh, thanks so much. Thank you, Shannon.
Yeah,
Thank you, Shannon.
Yeah.
Thank you for stopping by. Appreciate it.
Sarah, you still there?
Oh.
There we go.
Oh, no, that's
Siri.
That's Siri.
Bruh.
Oh, now it's just Sarah.
Now it's just Sarah. Oh, Sarah says that she is still here.
Sarah, if you have any questions.
Yeah, do you have a question?
We are happy to answer. You have a full audience.
You have a full audience.
You have our undivided attention right now.
I'd really love it if you could give us a call, Sarah. That would make that would make
She typed in chat.
She's the curious one.
The curious one.
No, Sarah had good questions.
No, those
I
were
wish
good.
that the computer system
that would make
Typed
my,
it- It's still
it's
good.
still
bruh.
it's a mix minus
Yeah.
situation. We shouldn't be able to hear ourselves in the microphones, in the feedback. I'll have to play around with it.
That's so crazy about the person.
She's calling. We got a phone call.
Wow. Wait, this is awesome.
Sarah, are you there?
I am. I'm walking away from my computer.
Oh,
Sarah.
Sarah.
Now we're doing the thing that we actually know how to do, which is to take a call live on air. So thank you for calling in.
Well, and I'm doing the thing that I know how to do best, which is mortify my son.
Yay! Yeah, that's what we're here. We're here to do that too, I guess.
I didn't want to. Since you were begging for me to contact you, I have a few more questions, but again, not important if you want to go. We're actually going to be coming
what we're here for.
to the preview day and the parents and the other day, the Panther Per Day. So that'll be awesome.
Oh, that's awesome.
Well,
We'll be there.
Chapman Radio will be there with a booth set up playing
Preview
music,
Day.
so feel
Awesome.
free to stop by.
You'll see
And
us.
you said
Great,
you're
great.
doing Panther for a day.
Yes, yep. That's for students more than full families. Yeah, that's on
Yeah.
Friday, and then the Saturday right after that, obviously, is preview day. So that'll be cool.
Amazing.
But yes, I did call with a question instead of a comment, right? It is. Is there anything that's interesting to know about the honors program? And also, I'm curious a little bit about. I know that the radio is kind of the major club of the school and department, but are there? I forget if there are like one or two other clubs, right?
Yeah, I can. Bella, you might know more about the honors program.
So as far as the honors college goes, it's a bit. It operates pretty funkily. So that's not an actual word. Regardless, so for the honors college, you can apply to join that anytime during your time, at Chapman. And the cool thing about it is that it does double as a minor. So you'll be taking all these classes. All the classes are structured a little bit differently than they are whereas like the normal classes are. So essentially all those classes are capped at 12 students. It's more of a Socratic seminar based. The classes are very niche, and there's just kind of more of a variety and more option for you as a student. But I'd say the main draw is that you get priority registration, so you do get to register a little bit earlier than everybody else in your year, and with the same credits as you. It doubles as a minor, so you don't need to worry about declaring a minor or a double major or a cluster or anything like that. So that kind of kills two birds with one stone. And yeah, you can apply for it at any time during your time here. I'm not 100% positive what the qualifications are. I'm sure they have it listed on the Chapman website.
I believe it's I think the main thing is maintaining a certain GPA.
Yeah.
mark,
I don't know
so
what exactly the GPA
I think
is.
it's 3.75. I believe.
Okay, yeah.
Don't quote me on
can
that.
imagine.
I have some friends who are in
Okay.
it though. And then also, just one other small thing about it is that there's also an honors lounge where you can kind of kick it and hang out with
There
the
is
same
that.
people.
There
And they
is
do
that.
have nice snacks, from what I've heard. They do have nice snacks.
Sometimes they have
As its
cats in there.
privileges.
Yeah, exactly.
And then as far as other clubs in the School of Communication, indeed, this is obviously a Chapman Radio focused virtual tour here because we're broadcasting from the studio and a bunch of School of Comm students. But yeah, there's a lot of different ways that School of Comm students can get involved, both within the School of Communication and outside of the School of Communication. Within the School of Communication, our kind of other big club is called Lambda Pi Eta, which is a professional honors society that's based in the communication field. So they bring in guest speakers, have professional development workshops like how to write a resume, how to write a cover letter. Just every month there's a different event that they put on. As far as like other clubs, that's about it within the School of Communication. But
That's fine.
as speaking about like Chapman students, and this is maybe where the students can go off, is that more so than any other university I've been part of, Chapman students keep themselves busy and sign up for everything.
Yeah, that's a very notable trait
Like-
of Chapman students, I would say.
So
for
people are
sure.
heavily involved in Greek life.
Yeah.
People are heavily involved in just like general clubs that
Yeah,
are
there's
around
over
campus?
200 clubs on campus, and every semester it constantly grows.
Yeah.
So there's something for everyone, and there's always additional ways to get involved and use your communication skills for the betterment of some clubs. There's professional development clubs. There's a variety of other professional fraternities on campus. So say you are a School of Comm student, but you want to go into the film field in that regard. There's a professional film fraternity. There's a professional business fraternity and different things like that. So there's really a lot of ways to get involved. There's like a ton of other clubs surrounding like everything.
I do firmly believe that if there is an interest that like a prospective student has, 99.9% of the time there's a club they can join that meets that interest. And
That's me. That's my
No,
fault.
you're good.
No
It's
worries.
good.
I had to go. I've got like a pan burning and had to shut off the Zoom. So anyway,
No
I'm good. I'm
worries.
good. I'm with you now.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that for all students, if there's something they're interested in, 99.9% of the time there's a club they can join for that. And if there isn't a club that meets that, it's very easy to start your own club
Yeah.
on campus as well
And get funding for it.
and get
Yes.
funding for it. Yeah.
Through the
Cool.
SGA?
Yes.
The
Yeah.
Student Government Association?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a great Zoom call about the clubs in general. So so I feel like I'm up on that. But it was the comm specific ones. Now I have a better understanding of. So that's awesome. Thank you.
Of course.
Well, perfect. Well, anything else, Sarah?
No, you're very nice.
Thank you
I
so
wouldn't
much
have
for-
bothered you, except you were. I thought you might want to make sure that that at least your call in was still working.
Yeah.
Oh,
We
well,
appreciate it.
I felt bad. I've done this before with the Zoom working, and we're able to engage with the people on the Zoom call, but my input sources were a little off today, so I'm just.
Zoom's ridiculous.
Come visit us at Preview Day.
Yeah.
Yes, you'll find
Oh
us
yeah,
neon
we look
green.
forward to it. So
Yeah,
and,
yeah, that's a good.
my son, we're so excited. My son keeps reminding me, "You're not going." I am. But the school seems so cool. I'm really excited. We're from Connecticut, so not that many people know
what part of Connecticut?
Chapman out here. So Fairfield is about an hour from the city
Okay.
on Long Island Sound. So yeah, kind of not too far.
Will you be watching the UConn basketball game here in a little bit?
Yeah, some people in my household probably will, but yeah, or you guys will, huh? So, all right. Well, listen, I'll definitely let you go. I appreciate it so much, and maybe I'll run into some of you guys when we're there.
Yeah, please do. Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you.
Have a great afternoon,
All
evening.
right.
Bye.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
All right.
Right
And that puts a wrap on Chapman Radio Preview Discover Exploration Day.
Yeah.
So much away.
Always something that we want, and you can't give it up. Picking the pieces where we left. Always something that we want, and you can't give it up. Right where they stand, it's always wrong up close. Did you know that I run all this time to ourselves? Feels timely. Baby, now you hypnotize me. How do I let this time? Now I'm at the side of you. Have the best of ourselves. Feels timely. Baby, now you hypnotize me. How do I let this time? Now I'm have the best of ourselves. Feels timely. Baby, now you hypnotize me. Now I'm have the best of ourselves. Feels timely. Baby, now you hypnotize me. Now I'm have the best of ourselves. Now I'm jumping enough for you. Find it,